How's it going, YouTube? Wake Run Collapse back again with another video today. After seeing Primetime Pokemon upload his Rising Fist booster box opening to his channel, which was awesome by the way, I've noticed a few new faces around these parts. Recently, I've been thinking about making a video to talk about collecting Japanese cards, and this seems like a good time to do it. So let's talk the Japanese TCG. For the purposes of this video, I will assume you are new to Japanese cards, and I will use my wily, persuasive ways to both get you informed and convince you to join me. Mwahaha. A quick disclaimer, I have no problem whatsoever with anyone who collects English cards, Korean cards, or any other type of Pokemon card. Do what makes you happy. I'd like to get the word out there about why I like Japanese cards, but I know there are drawbacks to collecting Japanese, and I'll share them here. Anyway, here we go. Newer Japanese booster boxes, starting with the Black and White series, are very small. You might not realize it by looking at them online, but they're smaller than my hand. Each booster box has 20 packs in it with only 5 cards in each pack. That makes them lighter and easier to ship and store, and it also cuts down on the ridiculous amounts of duplicate commons you get in boxes. I usually put the empty booster packs back in the boxes as a cushion and store my duplicates there. Because there are only 5 cards in each pack, Japanese packs cut down on a few things. Each pack has 3 commons and an uncommon, and the final card is a wild card of sorts. It can be an uncommon, a rare holo, or something nicer. Because the packs only have half the cards, roughly half the packs will have an uncommon in this spot and no rare. New packs also don't have code cards, reverse holos except for a single recent set, or non-holo rares of any kind. Plus, as far as I know, you can't use foreign cards in official tournaments anymore. And on the surface, that makes it sound like a bad deal, but fear not, because there's plenty to like. Japanese booster boxes are great for a lot of reasons, and one of them is pricing. I can buy a brand new booster box for $25 plus shipping. That means that for the price of a single new English booster box, I could likely get 3 Japanese booster boxes. In each box, you get 2 to 4 EX cards or better, with 3 being the most common output. Now imagine, with the money you could have spent on an English booster box, getting a 9 EX set of boxes that's not legendary treasures. That's where the value of your money goes when you collect Japanese. Japanese sets also come out earlier than in the rest of the world. The gap between Japanese and English releases was 4 to 5 months for a long time, and now it's only 2 months apart. That's great for both of us, because English collectors get their hands on the set before the new one is released in Japan. That paves the way for the new set to take the spotlight again after the English release of the previous one. The issue of card quality is a bit subjective. A lot of people will say that Japanese cards tend to be printed with a higher level of quality, and in general, I will agree with that statement. The cards are very rarely damaged straight out of the pack, and they seem to be thick and sturdy in comparison to other cards. That's great news for collectors like me who want their cards in the best possible condition. However, it seems like English card quality has improved recently, and Japanese cards will never be absolutely perfect. I think that's always worth considering. Now, when you're getting ready to buy Japanese cards, you need to find a site that you trust. 99% of Japanese collectors in this community buy online, and my preferred site is AmiAmi. Remember that $25 per booster box price I quoted earlier? I've only ever seen that on AmiAmi, and that's why I buy all my new boxes there. The prices on the site are in yen, and the site can be hard to navigate if you're new, but the savings are undeniable. They also ship based on weight, so you don't actually pay for your order until they've packaged it up, weighed it, and have emailed you an invoice. I actually find that pretty cool. If you want to be a comprehensive Japanese card collector, there's one major thing you need to know. Japanese sets do not always correspond directly to English sets. Cards have been jumbled from set to set, sometimes drastically. A lot of the time, cards from Japanese decks and half decks make their way into English sets to beef up the set list. Things like movie releases and promotional cards have fudged release dates before, and sometimes, in the case of the VS and Web series, whole sets disappear entirely. Bulbapedia has a very comprehensive look at which cards belong in which sets, and that is an invaluable tool for the Japanese collector. On top of that, the cards themselves can look different. Some Japanese cards have full card sparkle where English cards don't, and some even have banned artwork, though that hardly ever happens anymore. Also worth noting, sometimes two sets are released simultaneously in Japan, and they form one set when released in English. The X and Y set had two separate booster boxes in Japan, X Collection and Y Collection. This has happened in other instances too. Next Destinies came from Hail Blizzard and Psycho Drive, and Boundaries Crossed came from Freeze Bolt and Cold Flare. The most important thing about Japanese collecting, though, is that it gains steam and popularity with every new release. It's no longer the thing that only a couple of uploaders check out when it releases. When you have regular, big-name YouTubers like Unlisted Leaf, Jordan Japan, and Super Duper Tutorials opening Japanese items on a fairly regular basis, it becomes a force to be reckoned with. This means more people out there are collecting Japanese, which in turn gives you more people to buy, sell, and trade with to complete your sets. And making new friends and completing your sets is always nice. So, thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you have any questions about Japanese cards or the TCG, please leave them in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to answer them to the best of my ability. And if I don't know the answer to a question, I'd be happy to look it up for you whenever possible. Now take care, and I'll talk to you all soon.